Hello again, it's Noob, and I may well have just bought probably the most useless tool for any lock picking hobbyist and probably professional as well. And this is the Lishi tool for the Master Lock M1 keyway. So if you know your Master Locks, then it's this one. Very, very distinct keyway. These are found on lots of locks, but I've got two Master Lock Magnums or XLs, different years, but same kind of lock. Let me just show you how this tool sort of works, what the features are. So you have a blade here, which goes into the keyway like a normal key. Then you've got this picking tip here, which if you extend this handle out, can slide back and forth. There you go. And lift up and down. And then this handle's used for obviously turning the lock, providing that torque. And you see some markings here for decoding your lock. So you could technically cut a key with this, which I think is kind of cool. So you can see here we've got pin 4, 3, 2 and 1. So you can see how the tip moves as I move back and forth. And you can also see that if I'm at cut 7 here, that's basically like a 0 cut. And if I go all the way down to where the 0 is, that's obviously a very, very high cut. So if you look at a key like this, you'll see that you have some of these are going to be closer to sort of 0s and 1s, and some of them are going to be closer to 7s. So so your 7s are going to be those very, very deep cuts for those long key pins, and your 0s and 1s are going to be high for those sort of shorter key pins here. Let's do a quick demo of how this would work in a lock. So I've got one of my master locks. I have the tool. I'll just retract that tip all the way down to the bottom so that the tip is towards the handle and out of the way. Pop that in. Just apply a little bit of turning force. Not a lot. It does have a sprung core, but you don't want to force it. Then just go along and see which is binding. So you can see here pins that are not binding are springy like this, and the ones that are binding feel solid, so you just move that down. Next one, 3's binding now, click. Next one, 2's binding now, click. 1 binding, little click, and there we go, open. Very smooth, very quick. So let's try on this other little one, and we've withdrawn the tip. It's nice and out of the way. Pop that in. Make sure we've got nice turn on the core. Feel for the pin. So this is pin 4, and it's still binding. That feels okay. 3, nice little click. 2, tiny little click, and anything on 1? No, so just go back to 4. Feels good. 3, that feels better. 2, nice little click. Gone up to 1, and little click, and we're open. So that's another one. So the tool clearly works, but why do I think it's kind of useless? The thing is that these are just little 4-pin master locks, which means that they pick like little 4-pin master locks, and they are probably quicker to just pick than to try and find the right Lishi for the keyway, set it up, get it in the lock, and all those kind of things. You know, you can be in there with seconds, and you're using tools which you can use in multiple other locks, a bottom of the keyway turner, a short hook of some kind, and you'll get into these in no time. They can nearly always be raked. If you are a beginner lock picker, you won't learn anything particularly off using one of these. It costs more than 2, 3 good quality picks. That's around 15 to 20 US dollars, somewhere around that you can pick these up for. So as a lock picker, you're not learning anything from using this. You're buying an expensive tool for one keyway, when you could just buy yourself a short hook and a bottom of the keyway turner, pick multiple locks. If you're a professional, this might make sense if you're trying to maybe cut a key for a lock which doesn't have a key, the owners have lost the key. But then a lot of the master locks with M1 keyways are such cheap locks anyway. Be easier to probably replace the lock than have a new set of keys than it would be to decode one of these locks. Also, these locks can be raked, so even a professional that isn't used to single pin picking should be able to rake these locks with pretty much no problem, or just cut them off and replace the lock, as I said earlier. So I really think out of all of the Lishi picks, this is probably the most useless, but maybe I'm missing something. If I am, then I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. I do read them all and reply to as many as I can. If you like this video, hit that like or subscribe if you really think I've earned it, because both of those things really help my channel out. Otherwise, stay safe, happy picking, and I'll see you all next time.